Hi, everyone. Welcome to Z1 Concept Roundtable Discussion, episode number 5. My name is Brian Grieve. I'm the Director of Education for North America. And it's always a joy to be bringing you these great discussions. And we're hoping today will be no different. We have a great panel of invited guests who are very excited to share their insights and hopefully give us something really positive in this most challenging of times. But there you go, that's it set. But before we get going, as always, I need to introduce you to my co-host and great colleague, and I always say partner in crime in these roundtable discussions. So big welcome, big shout out to Gerard Caruso. Hey, Gerard.
Hey, Brian. It's amazing how many episodes that we've already conducted on these roundtable discussions. And I think that they're so important because we are giving the leeway to reach out to salon owners, stylists, distributors, DSCs. And I think it's really, really important that, like Brian said, through these times, we do stay connected. So my name is Gerard Caruso, and I am the creative director for Z1 Concept USA. And I'm also a salon owner, and I do have a staff that my salon coordinator runs for me. So I'm able to do other things. And I think it's really, really important to, let's just get this ball rolling and start off with kind of introducing the panel we have. We have a really great elite panel. So I just want to pass the ball over this way. Everybody gets the opportunity, introduce themselves, tell us where you're from, and most importantly, where you stand in the industry. Let's go right to Amira.
Amira.
Hi, my name's Amira. I've been a stylist for about 7 years, with Z1 Concept for about 3. I'm from Ohio, from the United States, and I'm looking forward to talking with everyone and about the topic today.
Cool. Welcome.
Hi, my name is Brad Swartwood, and I am from Omaha, Nebraska, and I am a salon owner and also a Z1 Concept educator, and I've been with the company also about 3 years and a stylist for about 15.
Cool.
I'm Charlene Main. I'm an educator and an independent salon owner in St. Thomas, Ontario, Canada. I've been a hairdresser for about 17 years now and with Z1 Concept for about 4 years.
Hi, I'm Cass. I'm from Nova Scotia, Canada. I've been part of Z1 as an educator for a little bit over a year now, and I've been a stylist for over 11 years, and I'm an independent chair rental right now. I'm excited to be here.
Cool.
Hi, I'm Tara. I'm from Rhode Island. I own a salon for about 8 years now. I've been a hairstylist for 17 years. And I've been using Z1 products since I opened, so about 8 years now.
Awesome. Great. Well, welcome everyone. And as the viewers can see, we have a great widespread right across the USA and Canada joining us today. So Gerard, let's kick this off. Give us that all-important topic that we're going to be discussing today.
Definitely, absolutely. Well, welcome everybody. I'm really excited to get this rolling and kind of really talk about what we have been doing in the industry, each and every one of us. And I think that we have a lot to offer stylists that are presently out there right now. With the situation that is put upon us recently, think about our children right now. Everybody's being homeschooled, right? Parents are homeschooling their children. Some of us are even homeschooling our nieces and nephews, or whatever it would take to continue education. And I think education is going to be the key factor in this topic today. So I'm curious to roll this off and start it, and maybe we could start with Charlene in that aspect. But our topic is going to be discussing homeschooling in our industry. What are we doing as stylists to continue our education? If any, what are the avenues that we have and the options that we have? Because I think now that we've been home for a period of time, there have been set upon us a lot of different options, a lot of different avenues. And I think it's great for the stylist that does not know where to go. And possibly they do, but they want other avenues. So without any further ado, let's get the ball rolling here. Let's talk. Maybe Charlene, you could put a little input on basically, both sides, as an educator and as an independent. Where do you find yourself homeschooling yourself?
Awesome. Okay, thanks, Gerard. I find myself, first and foremost, I think everybody's familiar with going to social media. So, we end up going on a search engine and looking up, different topics. One of the things I find myself looking up is quick highlighting techniques, because I know once everybody starts coming back into the salon, we're going to have a lot of people that need a lot of work. So we want to try to get as many in and through as quickly as possible. So I'm thinking that I'm not going to be able to spend as much time per se on doing, full balayage. So I'm looking up different ways that I can find quick techniques for highlighting. So definitely social media and going through different search engines that way. The other thing that I've been doing, actually, it might sound a little bizarre, but I've been going to my own notes. And I'm a huge note taker. And so taking a lot of notes throughout the years on different courses that I've attended, and I've just kind of been going back to those and finding little nuggets of information that I can then utilize to help myself and to share with other stylists.
Awesome. Really
Good.
good.
I love the going back to your notes. I think that's brilliant. That gives it a great message. And for anybody in the future, make sure you take notes.
Right. But that's the funny thing, because Brian and I always talk about that, because, Brian will always watch me take notes and everything. And he's like, I don't even know what you're writing. I said, well, don't worry about it, because when I go back to him, I don't know what I'm writing either. So I think that is a key point. And, on that note, what you just said, I have to honestly just throw this in really quick. That has made me take clearer, precise notes in the past 3 weeks that I've been home, even with Brian and I conducting these Zoom sessions. So I think that is a really good point, Charlene, that you brought up, is even going back to some of the notes that you've been taking.
Right. Awesome. Hey, Bradley. Come on.
Hi there.
Hey.
Well, I don't really have any of my supplies in my house, and I am currently on lockdown. So I have actually been focusing more, because I am very hands-on. I've been focusing more on the business side of things. As a salon owner, I do work behind the chair full-time, but I have been focusing more on business aspect. So I've been hitting up behindthechair.com. They have some really great, if you dig deep, there's some really great business classes. So I've been trying to focus more on that side of things, and also digging deep into myself and figuring out when we reopen how I can get back into being more organized. Because as a creative mind, we tend to let some things business-wise go. And I think it's important to not just focus on the creative side, but to focus on that business side, because we are going to be super busy, and it is going to be easy to let that part go, but we need to do that as well. So that's what I've been working on, and we still have about a month left probably of sitting at home, so I'm sure I'll have plenty of time to dig deep into the creative side of it too, and my poor cat and dog are probably gonna suffer for that.
No, cat and dog. That's cool. Again, great shout out, Bradley, because each of you, regardless, you're involved in the kind of business side of life, whether we like it or not, especially if you're independent or a salon owner. It's something that we have to be aware of, and Gerard knows that fine. We have many discussions regarding that too. So that was a very valid point. Thanks for sharing. Okay, Amira, tell us what has been happening for you.
I've actually been just resorting to social media. Social media has been, the biggest platform, looking for videos. And Gerard, like you just did a live video on the retexturizing treatment. And it's just awesome that we have this platform. I'm always told like, oh, we didn't have that back then. And, so I'm fortunate to have platforms like social media. I can just always go on and look for videos, and whatever I need, I could do that with the touch of a finger.
Sure.
Cool. Right.
Like you said, we are all posting, we just did the Facebook Live, and we ended up putting it to our YouTube channel as well as on our Facebook page, so there's that type of education that people can get to. It's a way of staying connected and understanding, and not only just realizing, hey, what's new and coming down the pike, But like Charlene said earlier, going back to say, hey, I have to plan because I know that my guests are going to be coming in and I possibly aren't going to have that time. And I need to know what are different techniques and methods and approaches to highlighting. I know that the trend right now is leaning more back to those baby and micro highlights. I think that was really, really cool. And then to Bradley's point, yes, we do need to educate ourselves and we need to take those avenues on the business tactics of it. What are the strategies that we're going to put back into place? I think that those are all good topics and good avenues that you have gone to. I want to go down to Tara for a minute, Brian, if we may. And
sure, of course.
Listen, because Tara, I believe you do own a salon in Rhode Island. So you are a commission salon or a rental salon?
Both.
Okay, so you're both. So what ways do you find that your staff and yourself are searching for education, and what types of education are you looking for? Also with that, I'm going to throw another one at you, give you a lot to think about. But what channels do you go to get that?
Definitely social media. It's really, I've been watching videos all day long, every day. I was excited to see that you guys did the K-Respect class the other day. Because I was super excited that that product was coming out. So, and I was supposed to take it, you and Brian were supposed to do a class at the end of this month in Massachusetts. We were supposed to go to that.
Oh.
Yeah. But yeah, just basically just watching videos on social media. I've been trying to follow a lot of big hair influencers just to see where everyone is at right now.
Right.
Because I'm feeling a little lost.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm super happy you do these groups.
On that note, it's kind of funny, Brian, because I was talking with Brian and I shared this earlier before we all got started. One key word that Tara just said is, I was feeling a little lost. I talked to a stylist who happens to be a really good friend of mine as well, and he was telling me the other day that, hey, I was going to start doing highlights on my daughter because my son and my daughter and my fiance, we're all living together, we're quarantined together, and I went to go start her highlights at home and I didn't know where to begin. I didn't know where to start. And I remembered, hey, I need to search. I know I saw some classes out there on social media that were doing highlights. And I want to go back to something that Tara also said earlier, and I'm going to give us a plug as well. The conversation about the K-Respect has been mentioned a couple times already on this conference. And I just want everybody to know, I'm going to give ourselves a plug that K-Respect, which is a keratin smoothing treatment, was a Facebook Live. You can find it on Z1 Concept YouTube, and you can also find that on the Z1 Concept, the Milkshake North America page. So those are avenues to get to education. But I think, and then we could shoot up to Cass, what you said, Tara, is so profound. It's like, we all, at one point in the past 3 weeks that we've been in quarantine or lockdown or not permitted to open up our businesses, have felt lost and have been searching to keep relevant of what's going on. What about you, Cass?
I have been watching the lives as well, but recently I've learned that I'm a very technical stylist. So sometimes I find it difficult because I have way too many questions, like which angle, how far out. So I am watching those, but for me, now that I have the time, I'm focusing on kind of personal growth and business building, like Bradley said as well. So I'm going on to all the people that are like experts in Instagram and business and looking towards those people and listening to a lot of podcasts and have my Audible subscription. So I'm trying to listen to everything on how I can grow, make myself better, and even keep myself calm during these times. And another thing that really has been helping me where I am technical, even though I can't ask as many questions, is all of the little pamphlets that we get with every intro pack and everything that we get, because they have very broken down steps and information. So I hoard all those things, and now I'm pretty happy that I did.
Good, good, and great. Hey, Gerard, another great point. Thank you, Cass, for bringing that up. I love the fact you just brought that little brochure up into the screen there. There it is. Because often what's really misunderstood in the industry and in complete total is that so much valuable information is in these publications that we send out as a company. So many vital pieces of information, but a lot of the times it's like hairdressers don't like to read the small print. I think that's just a common fact, not an accusation, but I put myself in there over the years. But sometimes this is a moment where we can go back to look at those brochures and think, oh, that's really cool. Oh, I didn't know that. And then that's really another step from where Charlene mentioned about going back to her notes. And so thanks for that. And Tara, just to your point, Gerard had a quick chat with Tara yesterday, and she did say how valuable the roundtables had been, to keep people connected. And it's where Gerard and I were really positive to put these together, because we felt that as hairdressers, we need to connect because that's what we're used to, or we feel lost. And thanks for really sharing that, Tara. That was quite poignant. So, Gerard, back to you.
I think that, when we really think about this, I know that Charlene and I have been having conversations over the phone, and as well as I've shared that with some of our other network, as well as outside friends, colleagues of mine that own salons, that are stylists, are independents, own solar accounts, different artists out there that I am friends with. I've really connected with them, and we really talk a lot. And we had a conversation 2 nights ago, and the conversation, it was a bunch of artists, basically from all over, different social influencers as well, that we all know and love and we follow. And we had a conversation because I'm part of this chat, and the chat was all about, what type of education are stylists looking for today? What are they really grasping for? I know Charlene mentioned that, she was looking in avenues of highlighting. And I think that, product knowledge and PK classes, we tend to kind of raise our noses of them. But I think more important now, it's an opportunity to be reminded. And we are going to see a lot of them. And on our behalf, on Z1 Concept, you're going to notice that we're going to start implementing some of that as well, too. So I think that's really, really good. Those of us that do have salons where we are capable of keeping in contact with the stylists that are presently working for us, whether they are renting, whether they are just simply, on a commission basis, and those of us that are independent, we need to really keep abreast that education is the key that's going to get us through all of this. So when we think about it, I like to kind of quickly go around and just ask everybody, just real quickly, what other education do you think is important? And it could be anything as, hey, I need a PK class on my lifestyling products or my no inhibition products, or a product line that I carry. I need some classes on, like Bradley said, business. But what type of education do you think that is really, really important and relevant and is presently available, whether it be through our channels at Z1 Concept or through social media out there? Anybody, by raise of a hand, who wants to start that? Go ahead, Charlene.
Charlene, there you go.
I'm always ready to talk. I think it's really important that stylists, no matter if you're independent or in a larger salon, focus on marketing and understanding deals that go on with different products and how to market yourself, your services, and the different promotions that are coming up. So I think marketing is one place that most salons can really find benefit if they do some education on that.
That's cool. Now we're covering a marketing aspect of it.
Yep. Bradley?
I would just like to add to Charlene's. I would totally agree. As a business owner, I don't fully understand sometimes how to take the best advantage of the deals that are coming the way in the brochures. And I do have an amazing sales rep now, which I haven't always, but Terry from Lincoln is amazing. And so, but we don't always have time to sit down and discuss those. And so if I knew better how to do that, that would be fantastic, and it would be a win-win for everybody. So,
That's
and then
good.
also I would say maybe a little bit more motivating or motivational type of things. I've been listening to some old, a certain hairdresser had monthly motivational interviews that he used to do that I listened to back when I was in hair school. Once a month, I would get these CDs, and he interviewed big names in the hair world, and that was very motivating. So something like that.
Okay, that's great. That's good. Good to know. I am taking notes, by the way. So we will refer back to these. Yes, Charlene, thank you. You've influenced us. So while we're on that topic of marketing and knowing how to use promotions, Tara, is there anything that you can bring into that, you know, being a salon owner also?
Yeah, first I want to I completely agree with Bradley and Charlene. I would like probably more classes or on product knowledge, like styling products.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, I don't know, I'm constantly reaching out to my sales rep and asking her questions, but it'd be nice to have maybe a class on that.
Okay.
I agree with Tara 100%. I really do think, and you know, I'm a stylist as well. I mean, everybody on this panel is a stylist, and we kind of defer things in different avenues of how we're presenting it now. But I have to honestly say that I do feel that we all get a product, and that could be whether it be a chemical service or it could be a styling product, whatever, and we all know it. We use it for years and kind of utilize it in one avenue only, but never really branch out to so many different ways that an individual product can be used. And then sometimes for the note takers, you may miss something in a note. You need to be reminded and be refreshed. And I think that's what's great and what I love about our industry, that we are always constantly, and especially with Brian and I being such a strong influence in the education network system that is provided for our industry, I think that's what we are constantly brainstorming with all the time. How are we going to offer many different avenues of education? So I would have to agree with Tara. I think that product knowledge, and that's across the board. That's a widespread. That's knowing how to utilize a lightener that I've been using for the same time for years. So I think that's really, really important. So I think that was a good point that you brought up, Tara. Thank you.
Good call. Yeah, and you know, just on that point, and then we'll bring in Cass and Amira. You know, just recently, shout out to Charlene. She did a great video class on milkshake smoothies, semi-permanent color, but very informational, which was, I thought, very important. And today, as recent as today, Felicia, one of the color ambassadors, did one on creative permanent color. Very informational, because no technique going on, really focusing on the product. And I thought the information was very valuable. So to Gerard's point, and I don't think we should ever overlook it. And especially if we even do it more on a sort of digital platform, it's got kind of a different twist on it. So we really appreciate you bringing all that up. So Cass, come on then, let's bring you in.
I have to agree with the product knowledge as well. From a stylist behind the chair standpoint, I've found, and no matter what salon I've been in, that the more the stylist knows about whatever product that they're using, that brings in success into their business and within the salon, and it helps them grow. I know, again, for me, a lot of hands-on classes for the technical stylists. That's what I crave, and I know in the smaller areas, especially in my area, there's most of the classes are in the big cities. So having more hands-on classes kind of spread out. But I'd love to continue seeing all of the lives and seeing product knowledge, like a little bit what Gerard was saying, using maybe products in different ways and kind of thinking outside the box with that. Like I've heard for one of our products, Sharon uses the liquid styler in updos. So, and that was something that I was never thought of.
Excellent. Good. All right, Amira, let's get your take, and then we'll get it moving on to whatever we decide to talk about next.
I was going to say the same exact thing what Tara and Cass are saying, product knowledge, a refresher class. You know, we use, products every day, all day, but it's always nice for someone else to talk about it and speak about it, because sometimes you learn something new. So it's nice that Z1 has a lot of products. So just a refresher about all the products is nice.
Good. Sorry, Gerard, I know you probably feel the same. I love the word refresher.
Right.
And isn't it a time like this when we've actually got time, we're kind of reflecting on a lot of what's going to think, oh, I could do with a little bit more knowledge on, A and B and X and Y. So I love that. I love refresher. That's excellent. Thank you.
Brian, can I add something quick before Gerard talks? Sorry.
Yeah.
Of course.
We had this really interesting little challenge that I took part in before. This is years ago in the salon, where everyone had to use one product, and that they could only use that one product for the whole day. And you had to do every single service, every styling with just that product. And it really made people realize the depths that you could utilize the product for and how it works in different situations. To Cass's point, like sometimes there's a product that maybe you didn't think about using that for an updo, but when you only have that one product that you can utilize, it really tests you as a stylist as to how to use it. That was just a really neat little challenge that we did, and I thought that's a great way to learn.
On that note, on that note that you're talking about, Sharon, if you really want to think about it, if you ever, Charlene, if you have everybody that's watching us, that I keep calling Charlene Sharon, but
I just answered.
It's her nickname. But on that note, I want to kind of really give everybody fuel for thought in one aspect, because if you speak to a more seasoned stylist, and I'm talking about somebody that's been in the industry for a really, really, really long time. And I remember when I used to be a child getting my hair done. And then after I became a stylist, I had the opportunity to speak to that one stylist that used to do my hair, who has since retired, no longer does my hair. And we were just kind of filming each other in, or forming each other in, into different avenues of what's going on in the industry today versus what went on in the industry back then. Well, at one point, hairdressers had one product to work with, and it was called mousse.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And if you wanted volume, you use mousse. If you wanted to smooth out the hair, you use mousse. If you wanted to create body and curl, you use mousse. If you wanted to really go in there and sleek the hair out, you utilize mousse. And then several years later, there was a gel that came on the market, and it was called 10X. And it was in a green box. And they used to sell it. It was open to the public. It was sold everywhere. And then stylists started using it. And that's before manufacturers started manufacturing all these products. So there was a time, and we, to your point, it's like cyclical. We go back in time when we think of things like that. On behalf of everybody, I wanted to share something with you that is coming down the pike. There are, to what you are requesting, there will be 2 videos that we'll be posting shortly on the Milkshake page, and as well as our Z1 Concept YouTube, and they will be strictly working with styling products, no inhibition, as well as Milkshake lifestyling. So it's kind of funny to hear that everybody's asking for that, and you're going to have that availability to go to the page and see them. Those are the videos that we have been creating, and a big shout out to the entire team. Charlene as well has taken a big part of that by creating videos that we have been posting for all the stylists that will be watching this Zoom and possibly just searching on the internet. So there is education available. It's out there. Bottom line, you just got to click. This is the click generation. You click here, click there. You can get anywhere you want onto the website. So I think that's really, really cool for us to look forward to. So I'm really happy to hear that people are looking for that type of education, and then that's going to branch out into so much more. And that's what I love about being part of a network at Z1 Concept, because that's what's in the forefront. It's education, education, education. We're educating ourselves at home. So I want to just like, see if we can go around one more quick time. Are we
good? I think
good for time, Brian?
I think we're good. Just before you do, Gerard, if I could just jump in, because I was it's so interesting what you just shared, because I was smiling inside because I was like, oh, well, they're not aware of what's coming. So that's really great that you know, the team have been working really hard, you know, behind the scenes to get this all ready. But also remember this, Gerard and I have had to work from home also. We're in our 3rd week now. We virtually talk to each other every day. And that's a lesson I think we can share. Make sure you're connecting with your colleagues. If you don't have a salon with lots of team, find somebody that you can talk to, because Gerard will say something, I'll say, oh, I didn't know about that. And then I'll go and watch something, or I'll say to him, hey, did you see this? And I picked up one. He's like, no, I didn't get that. When did you get that? So we really support one another. And then along with talking about many other things, but we're always finding things for each other. So I think that I really just wanted to share that before we get on a final round. So just keep that in mind. I think it's very important. Stay connected, embrace each other. So,
you know, Brian, to your point, and that was going to lead into what the next round I was going to really talk about. So,
okay, awesome.
You know, good minds think alike.
There you go.
It's amazing. You know, some of our stylists, whether they are colleagues of ours, maybe they are our employees, maybe they're colleagues within the network, you know, have reached out in many different avenues. You know, education, of course, is the fundamental. You know, we talk about the fundamentals of things. You know, there are 4 questions that I've always instilled into every educator that I've come across. And it's always remembering, what is it, who is it for, how do you use it, and what does it do? And that's something that we should follow through in life with everything. But it's kind of funny because we don't know sometimes when we don't stay connected. And either through the industry or through personal experiences with each other, we don't know the power that we have by suggestion to each other to, you know, for the most part, in a fun way, talk each other off the ledge. You know, there are times, you know, we are all going through something at that moment, you know, and just a text to each other to say, hey, how you doing? What's going on? You got time? Or possibly let's Zoom together. Let's brainstorm. To your point, Bradley, let's brainstorm business aspects. To Charlene's point, and Cass and Tara's and Amir's, let's talk about, you know, hey, have you ever tried this product this way? I did this today. Or do you have any questions? Because we are all knowledgeable in different avenues, and we can share that knowledge with each other. So as a quick roundabout, let's talk about different possibilities that we can communicate with each other. And have we been communicating with each other? You know, have there been aha moments that maybe you have talked to another colleague of yours and they shared something with you, or an avenue for you to go to get information from? I don't know, who wants to start that off?
Who wants to be the brave one?
All
Amira,
right,
Amira, come on, go.
Go. I think at that moment we took Charlene by
because Charlene's hand normally always goes up
I was
first.
sitting on my hands. Go ahead, Amira.
Actually, our co-workers and Cheryl, owner of SB here in Ohio, made a Facebook group of all of us co-workers. So we've been staying connected.
Excellent.
That way every day, whether it's funny jokes or something we need to be aware of. And we're actually going to use this video platform and do a meeting soon. Whether, you know, do a meeting soon, catch up, see what's going on, and right before we open, and make sure we're all aware of, you know, what we need to do and catch up on everything. And yeah, so it's been great. We've been staying connected that way.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay, let's look at the other side. Tara, I just happened to look at you.
I've been staying connected with my staff. I mean, besides myself, there's 4 girls, so we talk through text, but and also the app house party. I don't know if you guys have heard of that. Yeah. So, but and I speak with other stylists that I know on Facebook and Instagram. Was there another question? I forgot.
No,
So
no.
what we're going around is really talking about exactly what you just said, those different avenues of, how we are staying connected, because by staying connected, we're educating each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think you really hit that really strong, and you gave other options to do that. And I think that that's the most important thing for us to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like we were talking about, when if I can just refer just very quickly back to the moose story, some of us remember when moose came on the market, this amazing invention. But think about that we had none of this available to stay connected to each other.
Right.
So we have the most amazing platforms right now. So thanks for sharing that, Tara, and everybody. We encourage you to get on this. And I know that Gerard's been on the receiving end of quite a few Zoom cocktail party evenings, and with friends, and it's so brilliant. I'm about to set one up with my old team in Scotland, believe it or not, and we can do that right across the ocean. It's amazing. So yeah, do whatever you need to do. So that's good. So Bradley, you sitting there on your own. Come on, you tell us what you've been doing.
I was just going to say, the guy with the gray beard here, I like to do it old school, and I get on the phone and just talk. Which before this, I was, texting and Facebooking like everybody else, but there's something comforting about just sitting on a phone call and talking to your friends like it's 1987 and you don't have any other options. So, but my salon team is pretty small and we text, but my friends from high school and college and stuff, we've been getting back together on the phone, and there's something that's comforting, like it's back in the day.
Absolutely, Bradley, that's great. And we should never, it doesn't even have to come across as being old school, does it? It's just being thoughtful, just to take that time.
Yeah, and then so there's something about doing this Zoom thing that just kind of reminds me that we can't be together. Whereas when you're on the phone, it's almost like, like there's nothing wrong. You're just sitting on your bed chatting on the phone, and you're not doing it because you have to. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, good.
So.
Excellent. All right, where are we at? Well, let's go to Cass and we'll keep Charlene to the end. There you go. We'll do it the other way around. How about that?
In a very small salon, so we have a Facebook Messenger group. We've had that for a while, so we're helping each other through the financial hurdles with the government and stuff right now through that. And
Another form of education right there.
There it is, yeah.
I also really love the Facebook group from Milkshake because it keeps me inspired, because I don't have any of my supplies or anything at home like Bradley. Everything's still at the salon, but I can still see inspiring photos and see that everyone's okay, and checking in that way. And I'm also a big Instagram user, so I reply to people's stories and see how they're doing, especially people in the danger areas. And I think it was Tara mentioned the house party app, and that's something that's really awesome to take your mind off of everything, because there's games that you can play, and just trying to keep things lighthearted, sending funny pictures and all of that as well.
Good. That's important, because we're hairdressers. We like to smile. We're usually fun people. So I think that's an important. So like as Gerard said, that's still a form of education, isn't it? It keeps your mental health good also, so that we don't get overly lonely, Bradley, as you shared earlier. So, okay, so we're going to leave the last comments on this particular Zoom roundtable to the fabulous Charlene.
Thanks. I've been spending a lot of time on FaceTime with my distributor house. I'm also a DSC, as well as being an educator and a stylist. So I don't sleep ever. And it's just been really fun, to Bad's point, to just kind of have that relief and that release. When we're talking, we put the little silly hats on and the big glasses and the, funny lips and stuff, and just playing around a little bit like that, it kind of relieves some of the tension that we have. And also, one other way that I'm utilizing social media and learning and everything is tapping into Z1 in other countries. So I love the UK and Australia, especially those guys. It's just so interesting for me to find the ways that they're using products and their outlook on things. And even though we're, halfway across the world from each other, we still have so much in common. And so tuning into their pages, their Facebook pages, has really been comforting for me to still keep in touch with everyone, and I can still learn, and I still feel like I'm, on the pulse of everything that's going on.
Great. Wow. What a great way to sort of really close this out. But before we do that, let's bring you back to Gerard. And Gerard, kind of summarize this discussion, and then I'll do the thank yous at the end. Thank you.
Well, first of all, before I leave too, I want to thank everybody for taking part of this as well. I think it was really, really important for us to really kind of reach out to each other and reach out to different stylists. And, we don't know who watches this, and this could be being watched from around the world. In fact, I know that it is being watched from around the world from some of the comments and the texts that I get back. But I think it's really interesting for everybody to realize, the topics that we discuss, and it's basically going through homeschooling as far as stylists. What are we doing to homeschool ourselves and continue seeing this education? And to all the different channels that we do have, webinars, seminars, Facebook Lives, Twitter, TikTok is, I don't really do TikTok, but I ended up getting some TikTok really cool things. I noticed that there was a TikTok the other day on basically store-bought shampoos versus our color care in the milkshake line. And I saw that and I thought that was amazing. Somebody forwarded it to me. But how we forward education to video education. And just to let everybody know out there that all this education that we are talking about that can be provided for you if you just go to the milkshake page or our No Inhibition page or our Z1 Concept YouTube. All this education is being posted, and there's so much, there's an agenda on there, and there's so much more to come. The K-Respect was the last big one we did. There's one that was being launched today. So you have avenues and different ways to reach out to education. But one thing that I did learn when we had this conversation just now, this roundtable, is, not only are we looking for marketing and business strategies and PK classes that are out there, how are we communicating with each other? Because we learn from each other on a day-to-day basis, and it could be, like Bradley said, a 1-minute conversation, the old school way, which is not such an old school way. It's connecting. Or through Zooms. I know that I've done a lot of Zooms. I've done a lot of webinars lately. I think really, really importantly, it makes me feel I'm not alone. I am quarantined here alone, just myself, the dog, and the cat, like Bradley. So when I see these smiling, beautiful faces, I realize, and I told Brian, I'm doing these Zooms a lot, whether they're educational Zooms or cocktail parties or dinner parties or just to say hello. These Zoom educations are a way to stay connected. I think they're great. And we're really tapping into that strong Z1 concept. So you'll be seeing a lot of that. So those of you out there that, I again, thank everybody for being part of this. And those of you who are looking for this continuous education on Z1 concept and milkshakes part, we are going to continue to provide that, not only to get you through this time and this period to when you open your salons or get back into behind the chair of your salon, but continuously therefore after. I think it's opening our eyes to so much more. I think that was something that Charlene and I talked about too, and I spoke to Sarah DeVore earlier today. These webinars and seminars are a new way of educating. They tried to do this a couple of years ago and people just weren't adapted to it because we don't want to lose the touch with each other. We don't want to lose that. But there's an avenue that we need to continuously look into as well. So again, thank you everybody for being part of this. Keep your eyes focused on that milkshake page and that YouTube under Z1 Concept. There's a plentiful amount of information and classes there. And with that note, I thank everybody. Brian, I'm going to pass it to you. Kind of just zoom us out of this.
Zoom us out. I love that. That's the new catchphrase, zoom us out. So listen, team, yeah, thank you. On behalf of Z1 Concept North America, it's been an absolute joy. Thank you for taking the time to be with us today. So Bradley, Tara, Charlene, Cass, and Amira, and of course, Gerard, as always. Wow, that was episode 5. So much information. So those of you out there that are watching this or will be watching this, really enjoy it. Look out for episode 6. It's on its way. And just to recap with Gerard, go to Facebook Milkshake North America. You will find many, many videos on there. And YouTube, if you go to Z1 Concept USA, you'll pick up really many, many videos. So there's the two little plugs at the end. And from myself, as always, it's such a joy to do this. We look forward to hitting you up for episode 6 coming soon. So from myself and the team, we're zooming out. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.